Yeah, the two divisions are getting really interesting now. Given Ryan Garcia beating Devin Haney over the 2 weeks ago in New York, and him saying, "Hey, hinting a move to welterweight." Hey, him even calling out Sebastian Fundora for a 154 title as well. I saw a tweet of yours in regards to the fight. What did you make of the performance? And are you eyeing potentially maybe a Ryan Garcia? Like, do you foresee your guys' paths meeting with each other?
Ryan is like a lottery ticket in the boxing world right now. I believe that, he's going to do whatever he wants to do. He fought, he didn't fight for the title, or, he didn't make weight. He doesn't care about the titles. Uh, he has one of the biggest platforms when it comes to followings out of a lot of the mainstream boxers. And, if I was him, I mean, I would not step into the welterweight division. You know, uh, there's just bigger hitters, uh, bigger threats, really good boxers. Uh, but at the end of the day, it's whatever kind of show he wants to put on. Uh, I thought I missed a few rounds. I missed the opening rounds. I think I got in on somewhere in round 3. Uh, and the first thing I thought, I saw Haney holding. And the first thing I thought is, why is Haney holding? I was like, what kind of boxing is this? And, eventually I couldn't tell what was going on in the fight before that. So the next day I finally learned that, he got caught in round 1.
Yeah, early.
I didn't see the punch in round 1. So overall, when I reassessed the fight, not even watching round 1, I still haven't watched round 1, to be honest. See, I'm the kind of boxer who I just need to know the information, right? Because I already saw certain behavior patterns, and I had the question, where did that come from? Why was Haney holding like this? And why was he, I mean, I know he's a scared fighter anyways, but why is he really being like that at that moment in the 3rd round? I learned that it was because he got caught in the 1st round. And like Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a game plan until they get hit, right? We said this a lot. A lot of people have said this, stop comparing the next good guy to Floyd Mayweather. Just stop it. You know what I'm saying? Floyd is so unique. He was an Olympian. He deserved a gold medal that year. He didn't get it. Like, Floyd is Floyd, you know. He's like a sharpshooting Pernell Whitaker or something. Floyd is different. He's not. Pernell Whitaker is different. These historical fighters and fighters in general, they're very hard to just say this guy is that guy, except for when you're dealing with fighters, right? Boxers who use their IQ and their knowledge and their ring gentlemanship, they're harder to put together than fighters. Fighters stand and fight. Oh, this guy likes to stand and fight. Oh, they're like each other. That one's easier to come across, right? But Haney proved to the world that, he doesn't have the methodical approach like a Floyd Mayweather. Hey, let's be honest. He can't even take a punch like Keith Thurman, right? When you've seen me take a punch, whether it was a body blow or if I got wobbled from an overhand right or a left hook, there was the Soto Carras in round 1. There was Jose Cito Lopez. There was Diego Chavez. All these dudes hit me with a shot. Some people hit me with shots y'all didn't even get to comment on because my poker face was too good. But my head was going, right? So when we say that there's levels to the game, it's not just a skill set, but, the old saying is, it's not what you can dish out, it's what you can take, That's what's going to make you an elite fighter. A lot of people can box pretty and do certain things. That's fine. But what can you handle when the hammer is coming down? How do you shift? How do you adjust? You know, and Haney looked like he forgot about boxing. There was no overall game plan. There was nothing to go back on. Like, okay, let's just stay away. Let's just work the jab up, down. The head movement was poor, and that's what happened. So everything is good till you get hit, and he's gonna have to be more physically and mentally prepared in the future if he wants to be a wrecking ball, and even at the 140 division.
Where does he go from here, Keith? Do you, because of how the fight turned out, do you feel it's going to affect him going forward in other fights? Do you feel that now fighters that face him in the future are going to see that Ryan Garcia performance and know exactly what to do and better plan for him? But also, do you think, does it affect him now confidence-wise coming into these fights, knowing what happened with Ryan?
I'll share with you what I was telling certain people. There's two major mistakes that Haney's team kind of did overall, right? So some people know that Bill was talking about, Haney fighting at 147, let's fight Keith Thurman. He called me up out of the blue.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that's why you tweeted, right?
I couldn't tell him what was already, going on with PBC. So I just said, look, Bill, I don't think our calendars are going to line up. He's like, oh, when do you want it? We'll be on here. I said, Bill, just calm down. I'm not interested. Keep it moving. But I'm going to let you know this right now. You keep moving your son up and just putting him in against bigger dudes, like, you're going to get your son hurt. And I told him on the phone that Devin Haney, I watched it. He caught Lomachenko with check hooks. Bing, right? Clean shots. Bing, bing. That was when Devin Haney was the bigger man in the ring. Lomachenko took those check hooks and kept moving forward. You're fighting a smaller guy, and you can't keep a smaller guy off of you. That's all I needed to know before I told Bill, you put him in with bigger guys, you're just going to get him hurt, because no one's going to be scared of his pillow hands, right? So that's just moving fighters up, thinking that your fighter can be like Floyd and Pacquiao and this and that. You gotta move up methodically, right? The second thing is, when he fought his fight before this fight, when he fought the Rigaru, the gap in boxing talent was too big, okay? And the problem is, you put on a good performance, you look good on TV, everyone praised you, you got paid. You should have stopped the kid. His corner, you're not even knocking the kid out, but his corner was about to stop the fight. That's how much you were dominating him. If Haney had any dog in him, he would have won that fight via stoppage some way, somehow. Okay? So I saw no dog in Haney, but his father allowed him to believe that he accomplished something great in boxing on that night. I think he did a good job. I think he deserves praise. But to be elevated into you've done something great in the sport of boxing on that night, I think it's too early, right? And he had an opportunity to possibly put on a great performance, but he wasn't able to do it. If all you have is boxing and pity pat and holding, and he just doesn't have a big enough punch, in my opinion, to be a threat to bigger guys. He's a small guy, 135, 130 pounder. Like Lomachenko's a 126 pounder. You can't hurt somebody who fights at 126, but you want to fight people at 140, 147. And then, Ryan drinks his beer, does his antics, whatever. He made sure when he got in that ring, he's the bigger man. And, if they're, Ryan tried to say, oh, he does hit hard or whatever. Like, Ryan, that's the beer talking. Okay, Ryan, that's the beer talking. Okay. I don't want to hear it. Okay. We all could see that you were never scared. You were never worried. And nobody, I mean, Lomachenko wasn't worried. You know, nobody should be worried. And that's a problem in boxing. You know, I come from a certain era that my coach, he wanted power, because power is going to make the other guy think, right? I remember in the amateurs when I was fighting Demetrius Andrade, you know, I knew I hit harder than Andrade. The problem is Andrade hits hard enough to make you think. He hits you hard enough, especially at 152, where we were competing, you know, not 168, where his last fight was, right? But at the division at the time, I was one of the bigger punchers in the division going into the Olympic trials. But Andrade had speed and enough pop when he hit you, it made you a little cautious. You don't need to be a knockout guy. But if you're using speed, if you're using tactics, you need to have that whip, that boom. You need to have a little snap at the end of the punch to make the aggressor not like that sting. And it'll make people hesitant, right? What was one of the biggest downfalls of me versus Pacquiao is that knockdown in the first round, it made me hesitant, because if I was to make a mistake and he was to capitalize with his speed and his pop, then the second knockdown, I can't win this fight on the scorebooks no more. It's a knockout only kind of win, right? I didn't want to be in that situation. So it was a very close fight. The scorecards were going left and right, but I didn't pull it out. I hesitated. There was multiple moments where I hesitated because I never felt Pacquiao was going to knock me out that night. I never felt before the fight that he had the power to knock me out, but I knew he had the power to knock me down. He knocked down Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya got up. He knocked down Sugar Shane Mosley. Sugar Shane Mosley got up, right? These are real welterweights. So I always felt like he had the capacity to knock me down. Once it actually happened, it was on my radar. It's not in the back of my head. It's at the forefront of my mind. And that made me hesitate. So I just don't think that he has the capacity to make bigger guys hesitate and finesse them to win the way that, you know, he needs to win. You know, Ryan's a wild one, man. I loved Ryan when he first turned pro. I just like his skill set, his speed. I actually like his movement when he chooses to box. The only problem is no one's teaching him how to fight off of the movement, right? When he was giving Haney some movement, Haney was just trying to walk him down. Haney was inactive. He was inactive. He was wasting the clock. But I thought off of that movement, if he could come with like a right hand, left hook, or even just circle jab a little bit off of the movement, I think Ryan would be at an even another level. You know, he's still young. I think we saw a lot in the Tank fight that he had room to grow. And I still think that Ryan Garcia has room to grow. And it's just up to him how much he wants to be an elite in boxing. But Styles makes fights, and everything worked out for him on that night. But, you know, be careful who you pick, son, because, you know, there's some real fire out here. You know what I'm saying? You just melted a marshmallow, son. You know what I'm saying? You just roasted a marshmallow. You know, you didn't really, you know, a lot of people wonder what Pitbull Cruz would do to a Ryan Garcia, you know, and that's a question out there. So Styles makes fights. There's a lot of threats out here in the world of boxing, but, you know, if there was no danger, there'd be no excitement. So it is what it is, man. We'll see what he chooses to do. I saw something on Twitter. He was shouting out something to the MMA fighter. The guy
Sean
with all
O'Malley.
the crazy hair.
Yeah.
What's that? Who's it? What's
Sean
his name?
O'Malley. Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, O'Malley, that O'Malley guy, you know? So, you know, who knows what kind of next exhibition type thing Ryan Garcia ends up doing. He's got a fan base. He's got good talent. He puts on a good show. I tip my hat off to him. But 147 is dangerous, boy. You know, drink less beer and stay at 140. That's my advice.
Warren and Ryan, bigger punchers, lay ahead for him at 47. And even the Fundora talk kind of caught me by surprise. And Ryan even himself said, hey, I know this sounds crazy, but I know I can crack this dude. I can knock this guy out. Could you foresee like a Ryan Fundora fight?
No, I
No?
mean, like, I don't foresee it, but you know, it's like I said, the kid's gonna pick who he wants to pick. Who's not gonna fight Ryan Garcia in today's day and age? You know, and if you have a talented fighter, like Tank did, you got a talented fighter. Ryan Garcia is the perfect platform for multiple millions of people to be exposed to what your talented fighter brings to the table, whoever that is, whatever weight division it is. So it's just a great platform for anybody in the sport of boxing to, punch Ryan Garcia in his face.